everybody, I'm Seda,
And I'm Thea.
and today we are talking about Ouija boards. All you need to know about them. So over here, basics. Over here, I have my Ouija board. It may appear backwards. I don't know if it will or not. So basically, there's a little bit of rules when it comes to Ouija boards. I had to put plastic on mine because it wasn't working with the planchette correctly.
She also wrote some sigils and runes on it to keep it safe and protected. We'll talk more on that later.
Yep, we'll get into that. So, they're kind of, there's paper flying everywhere. You guys don't even know.
We got a pile.
We have a pile of papers that are just flying everywhere. So we're going to go over some of the basic rules that have to do with Ouija boards and how to use them. So,
I almost broke one of them.
yeah. One of the first and foremost rules that has to do with Ouija board is you should never play alone unless you are a very, very skilled or trained spirit worker or someone who's had a lot of experience with it. First of all, it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy, and it can be very draining very quickly. Have at least one other person besides yourself. Now,
I am here.
that's why she's here.
I don't know much about Ouija boards. I'm going to be honest. She's the expert on them. She's the one that uses them. I'm just here to put my fingers on the planchette.
So, another big thing is try to avoid using them in cemeteries. Now, I don't think that'll attract negative entities to you. I don't think it'll harm you or anything, but it's kind of disrespectful.
Yeah, that's their final resting place, and you're just like, hey, listen.
You're trying to talk to them, and they're just trying to chill. You know?
Right?
So there's kind of a moral compass to that one. If you're gonna do it anyway, you're gonna do it anyway. But I personally think it's very disrespectful to do so, and it could end up with spirits getting angry with you. It kind of just depends.
I would just not.
I would just
avoid
not.
the whole situation.
Let's see what else. Well, that paper is kind of basic, but another thing is kind of make sure you're good and protected when you do use a Ouija board. I know there's a lot of YouTubers and a lot of people who don't know this rule because they're not, witches or anything. They're not pagans. They don't do the magic circle kind of thing. But make sure you have something to protect you. Honestly, it's the biggest thing about using a Ouija board.
It's the biggest thing with almost any type of divination, really.
Exactly. You always have to be protected. Whether it's an amulet you wear that you feel protects you, or say you have salt, which is really good for protection, or black pepper, or anything that kind of
cast a circle if you really feel like you need to.
Cast a circle. I mean, if you know how to cast a circle, and if you don't, you can obviously Google it. There's a lot of resources out there that will tell you how to do it.
We were actually thinking of making a video on it, but then we were like, almost every witch YouTuber ever will have a video on it, so there's millions of them.
There's so many resources. All you have to do is type into Google how to cast a circle,
and you're gonna get 8 trillion hits.
Yeah. So we have a bag of sea salt here. I dropped it. There is a lot of herbs that are really good for protection when using a Ouija board. Specifically types of peppers, things like salt, earth even. You can use some dirt, stuff like that. We also have an amulet made of silver. A lot of people swear by this rule that you need to have a piece of silver on the Ouija board. You don't always have to have one. That's kind of more of a protection thing and superstition. You know, if you truly believe you need one, then go ahead and do it. There is nothing wrong with doing it.
Nothing wrong with that extra layer.
Yeah, but you don't have to if you don't have anything that's silver. And then we have certain types of crystals that help with protection. This is called a golden tiger's eye, and tiger's eye is amazing for protection. It's one of the biggest crystals used for protection, and there's a million others that are really good for this as well. So you could carry something like this with you or have it on the board or whatever. And that kind of brings us back to the sigils on the side of the board. This one I made by myself. It basically says that only my spirit companions can talk to me through this board. That's pretty much all there is to that one.
Yeah.
But
This right here is Algiz, which is a Volthark rune, and it's one of the strongest defensive runes that you can have. And it's a very, very strong protection rune. It's actually, like, I kind of draw it on everything all the time. I'm just, like, always drawing Algiz everywhere.
Yeah, there's literally a million things in this room that have that rune on it. I think even our Book of Shadows.
Yeah, our Book of Shadows has it on it.
Yep.
I have a couple of sigils on the back to keep it safe, but right there he is. Very small.
I'm gonna see if mine has it. I don't know if it does or not.
Should.
Oh, no, I don't. I will add it.
Yeah. It's never a bad thing.
Yeah. And now, there's also, like, certain candles people will use for protection as well.
Black candles.
Black candles.
Yeah, black candles are amazing.
Black candles. And it can be something as simple as this. This one is a homemade one that was sent to me because of a spell writing contest. I'm not going to get into that. But, white and black candles are really good. White is all-purpose candle, so it can be pretty much for anything you want it to. Yeah.
Kind of like clear quartz.
Yeah. But obviously, I mean, you don't have to have this sigil specifically because it's, you know, I'm a spirit worker, so, and she's a spirit worker as well. So specifically, this is for spirit companions, but this room right here would be a really good one to have on there.
Yeah, and you could also make your own sigils.
Yeah.
Like one that'll specifically say only positive spirits or spirits with positive intentions can talk through this board.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And so we can go over a couple of simple how-tos. Some of the first ones, this is the planchette. Obviously, you know what this does. When you're
Looking through it will not let you see ghosts.
Nope. See, I can do it right now. I'm not seeing anything.
Don't listen to the movie. The movie was lying to you.
I mean, I guess if you're superstitious about it, it totally can be used for that. I mean, I don't know.
It's never worked for me.
It's never worked for me either.
That's all I know.
So it's kind of just up to the individual person to know what is and isn't right for them. And this one blows up. It glows.
Yeah, you can't see it. You have to like turn down the lights.
Yeah, you can't see it, but it's glowing right now. It's glowing for us. You still can't see it.
Yeah.
So you have it sitting in the middle of your board, like this, you know, basic, whatever, just straight in the middle, or you can have it on the word Ouija.
That's at the top of the board.
And when you're using the planchette, make sure the word Ouija right there is upside down compared to the one on the board.
Yeah, so like
that.
Like you would start it like this.
Any other time it's upside down.
Yeah, right? Like there's no use in trying to.
Yeah, and it'll fall off the board. It'll make things a whole lot more complicated than they need to be. And
then your spirit friends are going to be like,
yeah, right? You're not going to be able to use it very well. It's going to hinder your process more than help it. When you are using it, make sure you only put the first two fingers, lightly on the large side of the planchette. And obviously, if you have more people, you can put it on the, you know, this side, but preferably here. And you want to be able to just touch it very, very lightly. You don't want to touch it too hard. If you touch it too hard, it'll either, keep the planchette from moving, or one of your friends is going to think you're pushing it, simple stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or you may end up actually pushing it and not realize you're pushing it. That's why this glows. It'll let you know when somebody's kind of touching it too hard. And, see what else. When you start to charge the board, you go around 3 times in the middle. Or you go around for every person who is in the room.
So,
Yes. So 1, 2, 3. Make sure you go clockwise when you do so. She was going clockwise. You're good.
yeah, I was going clockwise. It looks counterclockwise to us while we're looking.
Yes. And it kind of just depends on your preference. I do it just 3 times, but you can do it once for every person that is playing with you. It kind of just depends on your preference on that one. And here's some basics. We'll go into this later, but one of the basic rules I was told that I'm kind of like iffy on is if the planchette starts going to the 4 corners, if it goes here, 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 or here without seeming to really land on anything, or going in figure 8 in the middle of the board, or counting backwards through the letters and numbers. People believe that a evil spirit is trying to get out of the board. And I'll talk more about that later because I kind of don't agree with that. But there is a basic rule that goes along with that if you do kind of believe in that. And that's the planchette, like I told you to use it properly before. If you think that there's something evil trying to get through the board or something, you flip it upside down and you say goodbye. Now, if the spirit doesn't willingly go to goodbye like it should, you say it a couple more times and see if it will. And if it won't, you force it to goodbye and you shut the board. Simple. And you always, always, always have to say goodbye. That's like one of the number 1 rules.
Story on that. She and another friend of ours, we used this board at her old house.
Yep.
And they forgot to say goodbye.
Yep. And we were under the influence. Which is another big rule. Big no.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Be sober.
Be very sober. Because, well, if you want to continue telling the story.
Basically what happened was, I think it was like 2 weeks later, I had come over to her old house, and we were watching a show with her mom, and they had these, like, stick-on lights, like, they had, like, you could stick it up on the wall without having to plug it in or anything. And I think one of them had fallen down earlier.
Yep,
like
and it was sitting halfway up the staircase.
Yeah.
Like 5 steps up, kind of right in the middle.
Yeah. And then just, we're watching the show. No big deal.
We're the only ones
Wham!
Yep.
It flies off of the stairs, hits the wall, and then falls to the ground.
And shattered. Just completely shattered. And we were the only 3 people home. So it couldn't have been my little brother. It couldn't have been anyone. There was nobody there.
And at the time, they didn't have any pets.
Nope.
So it couldn't have been them.
And
then, like, wasn't it not even 20 minutes later?
I think it was like 10 minutes later.
Yeah, like 10 minutes later, they had another one that hadn't fallen down yet, and it fell down, but it didn't just fall down, like, straight down, like normally would. No, it fell down at, like, an angle. Here's the wall.
It went.
Whew.
Yep. And it shattered, too.
Yep.
And then ever since then, my mom's been hearing doors slam at night. Like, when I used to still live there, she thought I was trying to sneak out a couple of times because the doors kept opening and closing, and she thought it was going in and out. I remember one time specifically, again, when I still lived there, that I was in my kitchen doing dishes. And do you remember this story?
Yeah, this was when you were very pregnant.
I was like
she
20
was
weeks
very pregnant.
So I was standing in the kitchen doing dishes, and my little brother's outside playing or doing whatever. My older brother's just laying on the couch. And I start to turn around, and I see this arm, like this really thin arm, standing behind me. And at first, I thought it was my little brother, because, he's really quiet. He likes to kind of sneak up behind me and say something to me. Well, I turn around completely, and there's nothing there. And the arm was stark white, and it looked less like an actual arm and more like bone. Like it was literally bone white. And to this day, I've never seen it again, but it was probably one of the scariest experiences ever. I stopped doing dishes right then and there, and I left.
Yeah. We actually, like, and then didn't your little brother see, like, a really scary little girl? Or was it a little boy?
That was in a different apartment. The little boy was my older brother. He was in the kitchen, cooking dinner, and my little brother likes to lean over the banister of the staircase and go, "Hey, Jordan, when's dinner ready?" And so my brother sees out of the corner of his eye a shadow lean over the edge of the banister to the staircase. And he thought it was going to be Patton asking him when dinner was ready. And he said, "It's not ready yet, just go on upstairs, don't worry about it." And he sees it stand back up and walk back up the stairs. And Jordan's like, "Okay." He called my mom, who was upstairs watching a movie, and he's like, "Did Patton just come downstairs, my little brother, and ask me when dinner was ready?" And mom's like, "No, he's been up here watching a movie with me for the past hour. He hasn't moved." So, yeah, that is a good reason why you should definitely say goodbye on a Ouija board.
Yeah, because I don't think it's there anymore.
No, we
cleansed the board and it's not there anymore.
Yeah,
but that was not fun.
No, it was not.
That guy was not a fun guy. He wasn't happy.
Nope. And I never saw this thing again. But
yeah,
like they still get noises from time to time, and I used to get the bejesus scared out of me when I was there. But it's not so bad anymore. So again, say goodbye on the Ouija board. If it doesn't do it willingly, force it to. That's the biggest thing.
You ain't staying here.
Yeah, definitely not. Again, don't use the Ouija board if you are under the influence of illicit substances, like any drugs or alcohol or anything like that, or even like sleeping pills or something. It can leave you very susceptible to like psychic attacks and stuff like that. It's not a good thing, and it could really end up hurting you. What else was I gonna say? Don't use it if you have mental health problems, like if you're in a very deep bout of depression, or you're going through anxiety,
or you're having a panic attack.
Yeah, PTSD, or you're just like straight up sad, or you're sick. Again, it could lead you very susceptible to attacks. It could, drain you really bad, and you just generally won't feel good after doing it. And I mean, that's pretty much the basics of the rules of the Ouija board. Do's and don'ts, we already kind of covered that in.
I know, I was.
Alright.
Common misconceptions, family.
Common misconceptions. Okay, so one of what.
I did it again, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Don't worry, it's not a ghost, it's my fan.
Yeah. One of the biggest misconceptions that happens when people play with the Ouija board is the Zozo, Mama, Zaza, Zuzu, whatever, spirit does that spooky thing. It's not actually, like,
no,
it's not real.
It's not. The ghosts are trying to mess with you.
Literally.
They're literally just trying to scare you because it's their afterlife.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do in your afterlife other than scare the crap out of a bunch of people? That's what I would do.
Yeah. Most of the time, it is a lower vibrational being that, could be a demon, doesn't have to be. Not all assholes are demons.
I've heard that there's some angels out there who are.
Yeah. My angel knows a couple.
Yeah.
So.
And there are some demons who are like the sweetest little things out there.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be a demon that does this.
Not all entities are created equal.
But when that happens, it's literally them just trying to manipulate you, because those kinds of beings feed off of your fear. They think it's fun. They get a kick out of it. They enjoy it. So they're gonna do something to make you think, "Oh, they're gonna attack me. This is a demon that I'm talking to. It's gonna hurt me. It's not.
It's not.
It's really not. They're
It's
just,
literally going to do absolutely nothing to you.
as long as you're protected, that is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Obviously, if you're not protected and it starts doing that, then it's gonna mess with you.
and it'll mess with you beyond just playing the Ouija.
Beyond just being like, hey, look at what I'm doing. Hey, look at this.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm Zozo. I'm gonna get no.
No, they're not. They're not. As long as you protect yourself and your board.
Yeah, and I mean, they're not. There's not a being named Zozo. There's not a being named Mama. It is.
I'm sure there is.
Oh,
Just they're
well,
not
just they're not actually
what everyone thinks they are.
Yeah, and actually, I watched a documentary that said Zozo is this completely made-up character by this dude who was really obsessed with the band, and it was based off of one of their old albums. And he like came up with this demon who was attacking him, and his name was Zozo. It was a long, exacerbated thing, but Zozo isn't actually real.
Oops.
Yeah. But yeah, they just like to mess with you. They want to scare you. There isn't a Zozo. There isn't a Mama. I mean, I'm sure there are beings that are named these,
But they're like not what we think they are.
they're not what you think they are, and they're definitely not this being that's gonna like eat you through the
Your
board.
soul. Yeah. They're not gonna come eat your soul. I can promise you that.
Yeah. Another huge misconception that I was talking about earlier is spirits getting through the board.
It's not a portal, guys.
Well, it is, but it's
not
not what
really.
you think it is.
It's not the kind of portal you're thinking of.
This is a conduit to talk to spirits. It is not something like, yes, it's a portal, as any divinatory tool is, but
It's not one that they can really get out of.
they don't inhabit this. They don't. It's a board. It's a piece of cardboard. See? It's cardboard. You can bend it, you can break it, whatever.
You shouldn't really though.
Well, I'm not telling them to. I'm not telling them to break it.
See, this is I told you I'm only here to put my fingers on this. That's it. That's this. Just do this. Just do this. Put your hood up and look spooky.
A lot of people think when it starts doing this little number, or it goes to the corners, or it goes backwards through the alphabet and the numbers, that it's trying to get out through the board. I hate to break it to you guys, but
It can't.
the thing you are talking to through this board, it is already in the room with you. It is
It
already
didn't need to come
there.
through the board. It just came up and started pushing the planchette.
It is a spirit. It is literally a spirit, and yeah, they exist on a different plane than our own, but you forget that the planes overlap, and the plane definitely does not exist inside the board. I hate to be harsh about it, because I know there's a lot of people who believe in that sort of thing, and I don't mean to like bash your beliefs or anything like that. This is just like what I believe, you know, what the kind of thing I think about the board and what I've learned through my experiences. I really don't think that anything could actually be, you know, living in this board and come through this board to attack you or hurt you. Whatever is in the room with you, I mean, whatever's contacting you through this is probably already there. And yes, you can be talking to things like demons or things that might hurt you, even if you are protected and stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that they can attack you. The most they can do is scare you. As long as you are safe and protected, you're fine. You're literally fine. Anyway, that's just, again, what I think. So to kind of recap, you know, just be careful. Straight up, just be careful. There's a lot of things that people do that I see them doing on YouTube, or
Drives us insane.
in real life. It bothers me a lot, because like a lot of people don't do their research, and maybe they do and just don't want to listen to it. Like, there's a YouTuber that I follow a lot. His name is Lance Stewart, and I know probably any of you who would be watching this kind of knows who he is and what he does. A lot of people.
I made you a rose.
Okay.
I'm going this way.
What are you doing? Okay, bye.
I'll come back.
Okay.
Just tell your story. I need a drink.
Okay. So a lot of people think that Lance is kind of faking all of this, and personally, I don't think he is. Now, let me tell you kind of what happened. So first, Lance started doing Ouija board as kind of a fun thing to do for his YouTube channel. You know, he was playing with it with his friends and talking to them about, like to their dead relatives or something like that. Sorry, I have to get this cape off real quick. And that's all well and good. That's fine. But he didn't go about it the right way. There's some things that he missed, like protection, or when he thought he was talking to a demon or whatever, he continued talking to them instead of shutting down the conversation and stuff like that. He just kept talking to them, kept asking the same questions over and over and over again. And eventually he became addicted to playing with the board. Like to the point where his followers were actually getting upset with him about playing with it all the time. And this progressed to doing other things like automatic writing and things like that. And I remember specifically this was actually a lot of episodes in the series. One of the first things that kind of tipped me off was he was going to a cemetery to pray, and he started talking to Zozo, and he continued to talk to this being, and it told him that they were going to die. That's also another thing you don't want to do. You don't want to ask when you're going to die or how or whatever. Not that it will actually happen, but it does freak you out, and accidents happen, and let's just not get into that right now. But so he did, and it told them to kill themselves and all sorts of things like that. And there was a bang on the fence beside them, and they took off. Now, after that, things started getting really bad at his apartment. He was getting attacked. He was getting possessed. There was literally an episode where he was possessed and calling his girlfriend a bitch and banging his head against the wall, and it was very intense. And a lot of people thought he was faking this. But when actually looking at it, especially from my point of view, I do not personally believe he was actually faking anything. The biggest reason why I don't think he was faking anything is because one, he ordered a priest to come over and cleanse his apartment. If nothing was happening, I don't think he would have wasted a priest's time with coming over and cleansing his apartment and doing a full-blown exorcism on his apartment. So, just if you really want to see the full impact of all that happened, I would suggest going to his channel and looking at all that. It was a mess from beginning to end, and it goes on for weeks and weeks and weeks. And his apartment is still haunted, even though he's moved twice. And not that he posts it on his YouTube channel anymore, but you see it a lot on his Snapchat and on his Instagram, which I follow both. And it's just a mess. So, yeah.
By the way, I'm wearing shorts under this. I just wanted you to know that. I know you saw my stomach for a second. I'm wearing shorts. I wasn't expecting that to happen. I'm sorry.
So, as I said before,
Just
be protected. I mean, it's that simple. Know what you're doing and follow the rules. It's really that easy. And I know that things that have rules, people don't like to go with them because it's complicated or something. But honestly, it could mean a lot to your health. It could mean a lot to your family life. It could, potentially hurt you if you don't do anything, if you don't do what you're doing correctly. And there's a couple more things I want to go over, like simple stuff that people know, like don't leave the planchette on the board if you're not using it, or just things like that. Don't ask it, the day you're gonna die, or if you're gonna fall in love, or don't ask it to spell out your full name and stuff like that. Names have a lot of power, especially in the spirit world and stuff. Like, why are you being creepy?
because I want to.
Especially in the spirit world and stuff like that. Names hold a lot of power. That's why me and Fia go by our cast names instead of
Yeah,
our real
Fia's not my real name as much. As happy as I would be with it.
Right, me too. Seda is definitely not my real name, but
I wish my real name was Fia.
same here. But yeah, so don't let it spell out your full name. Don't ask it. Well, it probably already knows, but go by a nickname maybe. Just try not to engage it in that sort of way.
Yeah, and if you're ever doing spirit work at all, always refer to yourself as your cast name or a fake name or
Yeah.
a nickname, something like that.
Yeah. I actually just adopted a spirit a couple of days ago, and he didn't actually know my real name until he got here. Till I actually adopted him.
Yeah, right?
He called me Seda, and that was it.
Does he still call you Seda?
I wouldn't know. we don't talk through telepathy as much as you and Penelope and Caitlin do. Well, I probably didn't say it loud enough
Anyway, I talk to my companions through telepathy a lot. They still call me Fia most of the time. They know what my real name is, but they call me Fia mostly because that's the safest thing to do.
And so yeah, and sorry, I'm train of thought jumped the tracks for a second. Make sure you cleanse your space after you're done using it. I mean, obviously, it kind of just depends on what sort of energy you attract while using it, but I would suggest cleansing no matter what. One of the biggest things that me and Fia have is a sage stick. So we sage our room. Also, don't call it smudging, cultural appropriation, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
just
It's
burn
cleansing.
sage. Just
Cleansing.
cleansing or burn sage.
Yep.
That's it.
And
We're not at all Native American. We can't say smudging.
I mean, I'm at least 1/16th Cherokee, but I'm not enough Native American to call it smudging.
Yeah, right.
And it's also this. I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyway,
Just
there,
don't be a butt.
yeah. There is a lot of other herbs that you can burn that you can literally just find in your spice cabinet that are good for cleansing your space, like rosemary or cumin or fennel.
Cumin smells like butt.
It smells like butt. Don't burn it.
Don't burn it.
But I'm just
Anything
listing
but
some
that. You can.
There's,
It just smells bad.
I'm not sure bay leaves are good for that, but there's bay leaves. There's garlic. I think you can burn garlic.
Can you?
I tried. I left out garlic for one of my deities, and it ended up hardened, and I couldn't actually burn it. He wanted me to, but I couldn't. But yeah, there's a lot of herbs that you can burn for protection specifically. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Unless there's anything you want to say, or what are you doing?
Burn it.
What? Oh, you were just gonna burn it.
Yeah, I don't have a lighter.
Let me see if I can find my lighter.
This doesn't need to happen. This is just something that I feel like I want to happen.
Hold on.
You could probably cut this end part out, huh?
Nah, we're good.
No more cutting things out. Total raw footage. I mostly just want it to smell like sage in here.
But keep in mind that sage smells like another illicit substance.
Yeah, it kind of smells like old pot.
Really old pot. Like pot that you left out for a really long time and decided to smoke again. Anyway, so like keep a window open and make sure you can, make sure there's no babies or pets in the room when you're doing it, unless you're ventilating the room. Here's a lighter. Yay! So yeah, and it's blowing right in my face.
But right in both our faces.
Don't set the carpet on fire.
Relax, I know what I'm doing.
Sure you do. So yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know. Just make sure you do your research, and there's all sorts of different boards out there. Mine is less traditional than most. It's by Hasbro, so I mean literally it's just, it's a game.
but not really.
but not really. You know, I mean, it's literally made by Hasbro Gaming, not spawns, but yeah. So that's basically all you need to know about Ouija boards. So, yeah. Thank you all for checking out this video.
Leave a like if you wish.
And please, if you want to see more videos like this, we're going to have a whole line of divination videos and other witchy stuffs, DIYs, and how-tos. And yeah, many blessings to all of you. And
Have a wonderful night or day.
Or day, whichever one.